left of me is lost in doubt, trying to find a way out. These lies within, they hold me tight. In the dark I lose my fight.
Chapter 18. Deliver Us from Evil. Carla used to believe the worst thing in life was being alone. It was almost easy to pretend he wasn't there when the monitor was off. Almost. But the feed flickered to life, spilling Charlie's image into her vision. He was in a hotel room. The grainy camera framed him from the waist up, seated at a desk with one elbow propped lazily on the armrest of his chair. Behind him, drawn curtains, a lamp that burned low and golden. He didn't speak at first. He just looked into the lens, smiling faintly like he was watching her through it. Then his eyes narrowed. "Carla, you're not looking at me." She kept her gaze slightly down, locked on the edge of the monitor. His thumb hovered over a button, not pressing, yet. "Wake up. I don't care if you're tired." Still, she didn't raise her eyes. The jolt tore through her legs, quick and vicious, snapping her forward against the restraints. Her breath hitched into the tape, her eyes raising toward the monitor. "Better," he murmured, leaning toward the lens. "Now keep them on me." Her gaze drifted to the corner of her own room. David was there, dim, faint, but there, watching. Her eyes locked on him, and something inside her twisted, sharp and defensive. Her body was trembling, her voice gone, but she lashed out at him through garbled words. "Leave. Just go. I don't need you anymore." The words were cruel, reflexive, desperate. But the moment she saw his face, his reaction, she wished she could take them back. She treated him badly out of habit. She knew it. David didn't flinch. He faded a little more. Something in his expression, already tired, already strained. He looked at her not with anger, not with hatred, but with pity, a deep, sorrowful kind, the kind reserved for people already lost. Pain surged up her calves into her thighs, stealing her breath. "You're supposed to be paying attention to me," Charlie growled, voice now stripped of its earlier glee. His body language changed instantly, jerky, sharp, uncontained. Charlie began pacing the floor, jaw clenched, fists twitching. "This is my time, my moment!" Then, without warning, he turned toward what remained of her daughter's unmoving body. He punched it. Carla's eyes went wide with horror. She tried to scream, but only muffled cries escaped. Her entire body locked in place. Her heart slammed against her ribs. "Please stop! Please stop! Please stop!" Her focus returned to him completely, not out of fear for herself, but out of a final flicker of hope that if she paid attention, he'd leave her daughter's body alone. Maybe there was still something left of Elizabeth. Maybe David was wrong. Charlie glanced at the camera, satisfied now. She forced herself to look at the monitor. Charlie's smile smoothed into something almost warm. "Good girl." He sat back in his chair, rocking gently, fingers drumming against his knee. His gaze slid to the hotel door. The rhythm of his tapping changed, faster now, lighter, anticipation in each beat. In his boredom, he tapped the button again. Another surge, another scream trapped behind the gag. Carla's legs burned. Her body sagged in the chair, tears pouring from her open, unblinking eyes. Charlie clapped his hands like a game show host. "You like that, don't you? Naughty." He smirked, barely even glancing at her anymore. Lost look in his eyes, talking to himself. "I'm the ultimate man. The misunderstood genius of women's desires. Carla will find out soon." There was a pause between each muttered statement. "All of them did eventually. I broke others. They all started out strong, defiant, proud, just like her. But they always crumbled. The last one almost made it a year." He grinned, too gentle with her. "Took too long, boring." His mood changed again. Anger surged. They still gave up. They still tried to leave. He looked over at the screen again. You won't bore me, you won't try to leave, Carla. Then he reached for the button again and smiled. Carla had become nothing more than Charlie's plaything, his captive, his audience, his target of endless, sadistic attention. The button pushed again and again. Time had melted away. Pain and exhaustion were constants until she no longer had the strength to scream or beg. Then it came. A knock. He froze, then leaned forward like a child at the edge of a stage. His sinister grin widened, teeth catching the light. Guess who's here? He clapped once, sharp enough to make the mic pop, and rose from the chair with a slow, deliberate stretch. Cynthia has come to play. Quiet and controlled, he slinked through the hotel room, checking each camera one last time before heading for the entrance. Carla could only watch. She couldn't see much, but Charlie seemed satisfied. No one else was in the halls except the one he wanted to be. In that moment, she found the strength for a whispered prayer. God, deliver my daughter from evil. Charlie looked up to the camera, wiggling one finger with a sinister glare, as if to say no. His other hand reached for the doorknob. The monitor flickered again, and the next images burned into her brain. The door opened. Cynthia was caught off guard instantly. I'm sorry. Charlie moved quickly. A blur. She didn't even scream when he grabbed her. His hand pressed against her mouth, dragging her inside the room. She collapsed like her legs had no strength in them. Charlie closed the door calmly. I'm sorry about that. I had to get you inside as fast as possible. Don't want anyone noticing us. He placed the towel over Cynthia's face, a quick, practiced motion. Carla's own breath caught in her chest. Charlie walked up to the camera, his face inches from the lens. His eyes were wide, unfocused. His smile stretched unnaturally across his face. He didn't speak, not really. Just whispered fragments. Words that made no sense, names, phrases, muttered mantras only he could understand. Then, like a puppet yanked by invisible strings, he began to dance, twisting, spinning. Cynthia, Cynthia, Carla, Elizabeth. Over and over, more frenzied, more unhinged. Carla shook in her restraints, teeth clenched, forcing her muscles to move, but the chains were unyielding. They wouldn't budge. Charlie stopped mid-motion, freezing in place. He just stood there, staring directly into the camera, not blinking, just watching her. Carla stopped resisting. Then, as if on a silent cue, he lowered himself beside Cynthia's body. He didn't glance at her, not once. His eyes stayed locked on Carla as his hands began to move, quick, forceful, and disturbingly sure. She couldn't even process what she was seeing. The motions were too strong, too deliberate, and completely blind to what he was touching. It was as if his body knew exactly what to do without needing his attention. Her own breath vanished. She didn't even realize she'd stopped breathing until her chest began to ache. She couldn't inhale, couldn't exhale. The sound in her ears was only the faint scrape of fabric, the creak of the bed frame, and the steady, unnatural rhythm of his hands working. It was completely shocking, unbelievable. And yet she couldn't look away. Carla's pulse pounded in her skull, her mind screaming for her to shut her eyes, but his stare held her like a hook in her spine. He never looked away from her, not once. His body was simply following orders from some other place. Shoulders, arms, fingers. They moved in deliberate jerks. It was wrong, unnatural, and it didn't stop. Minutes dragged. The sound of cracks, distant through the feed, was enough for her to understand. Her lungs forgot how to pull air, her chest aching as the horror stretched on without a single blink from him. When he finally stilled, it wasn't with relief. It was the certainty of someone placing the last piece in a puzzle they'd always known the shape of. He rose, his neck still fixed toward her. He grabbed a towel to wipe his hands in slow, precise motions. Behind him, the bed sagged under the still weight of two bodies, Cynthia's and another. Carla didn't need to see her face. The outline was enough. Elizabeth hadn't moved once. The cold truth slid into Carla's chest like a blade. Whatever hope she had been holding on to was gone. Charlie kept repeating all their names into the monitor. Cynthia, Cynthia, Carla, Elizabeth. Dancing, like something possessed around her daughters. His body turned and spun, but his head never shifted from the camera, eyes locked on Carla as if her terror was the true performance. Even when his body twisted, it never followed the alignment of that gaze, unnatural and unblinking. Carla didn't move, couldn't. The fear sat like ice in her lungs, heavy and unmoving. She forgot to breathe, afraid that even the smallest sound might break whatever fragile thread kept him at a distance. David. Charlie stopped abruptly, every limb going still while his eyes turned towards Cynthia. I know you enjoy that. One more gift, he said softly, almost tenderly, before I really get started on you, Carla. The smile stretched wider. His laughter rose, high, giddy, wrong, filling her cell until it seemed to come from the walls themselves. And then the monitor went black. Carla dragged in a breath through her nostrils, the first in what felt like minutes. Her head turned toward David. His glow was almost gone now, just the faintest shimmer clinging to his outline, barely more than a shadow. He stepped closer, his face solemn. Carla desperately asked, was she awake? She would have been for the most of it. I did all I could, he said quietly. I took their pain. Took their pain? What did he mean? She didn't understand. But then his eyes met hers, and the meaning sank in, heavier than any chain, sharper than any wound. It wasn't cold. It wasn't cruelty. He was saying he would do anything if he could. She just stared at him, trying to understand, before her body sagged again, the restraints catching her weight. Her thoughts spiraled, searching for an escape, a loophole, anything. This isn't happening. I'm hallucinating. I died. This is hell.
In the dark, the chains are heavy, pressing hard against my chest. This is home, I don't belong here. This is mercy, let me rest. Every step is getting faster, every shadow pulls me near. Voices rising, then they vanish, leaving nothing but the fear. I'm already gone, already broken, lost in the fire I have fed. No light, no heaven, only the ashes burning inside my head. Faster, faster, walls are bending, spinning, falling, never ending. Faster, faster, heartbeats screaming, nothing left but endless streaming. Hands are empty, faces fading, prayers are burning in my head. Walls are bending, time collapsing, all the hope is gone instead. I'm already gone, already broken, lost in the fire I fed. No light, no heaven, only the ashes burning inside my head. round and round, faster, faster.